Hello, sweet friends, and welcome to this week's episode of Manifest Your Best. So, I'm on a walk with JoJo right now, and I was thinking a lot about the whole idea of coming home to yourself and like what that means and all that jazz. And I don't know about you, but as a business owner, and maybe just as a human, but especially as a business owner, I feel like social media is kind of this inherent part of who we are. Sometimes it feels like a fifth limb or something, and social media can be so great, right? It can really, I don't say that lightly, it can be so great. There are parts of it that I love. There are people who I've connected through it. There's times that I'll be scrolling on Instagram or Facebook that I'll see something that I'm so inspired and I'm like, oh my God, or I'll see a quote, right? So I'm all about the social media. I like social media. And I feel like it can be an addiction, but beneath the whole addiction thing, it can really take you away from yourself. I think social media gives you the feeling of belonging, whether it's, it feels truly real or not, but it can give you a sense of belonging. Like you are connecting to people and all that stuff. It gives you a sense of belonging and connection and all that stuff. But I think that sometimes what happens at the same time is that you get it at the cost of losing a sense of belongingness to yourself and a connection to yourself. And I don't think that it's something that we necessarily realize while it's happening. It's kind of like when you're suntanning and you don't realize you're getting a sunburn at the time, and then afterwards you're like, oh wait, what's happening? So I don't think it's something that you're aware of in the moment, but this is kind of how, I don't know what I would call it, whether I would call it social media, I don't know, too much social media. But when you have overdose, maybe a social media overdose, let's call it that. When you've social media overdosed, when you're no longer super clear on what you want, when you're no longer super clear on what makes you happy, when you just feel like there's a lot of noise in your head, energetically or literally or otherwise, when you somehow find yourself on social media but don't even know how you got there, when you just pick up your phone and you immediately open to an app. Now, none of this is bad. I've done this too. And if it's working for you, that's great, right? So this isn't a judgment thing at all. This is all about getting clear on what is or is not working for you, right? But what I found recently is that I was feeling like there was so much noise in my head, and I was feeling like I couldn't really get clear on what I wanted. And social media, the other thing about social media is that it can bring up a lot of comparison. It can bring up a lot of, I really don't like the word jealousy, and I really don't like feeling jealous, but it can feel inadequacy, or why didn't I do that? Or why didn't I do that fast enough or better, or and it can just cloud your own sense of truth and judgment and your own voice. It can really quiet your own voice. So I've done a few things that I want to share with you in case perhaps this resonates and you are looking to kind of come back home to yourself in some way or another. So the first thing that I did, I have an iPhone, BTW. So the first thing that I did is that you can do something that I can't exactly tell you the specifics of how, though I can try to run it, through with you. But basically you go to your settings, and I think there's privacy or something, and you can set limits on your apps. What I actually initially did was I set it so that every Saturday, the app, all of my social media apps were immediately kind of closed down. And if I wanted to open them, a pop-up came up and it was okay, this is currently off limits. Do you want to open it for a minute, for 15 minutes, or for all of today? And then what I did even more recently is I basically closed all of my social media apps all the time, right? So that, and this speaks to the whole, if you're immediately picking up your phone and suddenly you're on Instagram and you're like, how did I get here? I don't know how I got here, right? So what I've done then is that, like, even if I now have this automatic reflex of, you know exactly where the app is on your phone, et cetera, it's this pattern interrupt, because it makes you be like, okay, I'm only going to be on this app for X amount of time. And then what happens is, let's say you choose 15 minutes, then after 15 minutes, it closes again. And if you want to open it, you need to make another conscious decision of, like, I'm going to open it for 15 minutes. I'm going to turn around because it's getting very sunny. So anywho, that's the first thing that I did. That's helped a lot. And then I think the second thing is to really honor that, and to honor that boundary, right? And the second thing is, I would invite you, and this is something that doesn't for sure come easily to me. Maybe it would come easier to you, maybe it won't at all. But to spend maybe a day, maybe even a day or two, dare I say a week, where you don't check your email and you don't check social media. The reason is that I think a lot of times we get so triggered unknowingly. We get triggered, or we get upset, or we get just like energetically off course when we see something in our email inbox, or we see something on social media, and it just like messes us up. And then we don't even know how we got into this rabbit hole of not feeling great. So that's what I'm doing today. I call them social media Shabbats. And they don't necessarily feel natural at first, because I'm so used to being on my phone. And I think especially if you really get a lot of connection from social media, or your business is on social media, there can be some resistance. But if it's the connection piece, what I invite you to do is connect in other ways. Text friends, call friends, connect with yourself, yeah? Come back home to yourself, as we were talking about. And if it's business, I think that it's coming down to like this belief that you still get to succeed in your business, you still get to reach your goals of your business, even if you're not on social media all the time, even if you take 2 full days off of social media. And like, for example, today, I'll just share with you what I did, right? So I still really like to post on social media every day. I have things to say, I have things to share, I have things that I want to help people with. So today I opened up, even though it was like social media Shabbat, I opened up Instagram with the explicit intention to just post on Instagram. I didn't look on anything else. I didn't check anything. I posted, and then I posted it again on Facebook, and that was it. And it was done. And I don't know if people commented or if people liked it or anything. I just did what I wanted to do. I came to serve and I left. So if you still want to have some sort of presence, you could do something like that. Or in theory, there's apps where you can like schedule things in advance. So that is my offer to you. If you are feeling kind of like you're in this place where you're like, I don't really know what I want, or I don't really know what feels good, or I just feel like energetically or literally it's very noisy and you just need to breathe and to have some space, take a day or two off, not necessarily consecutively, but consecutively if you want, but take a day or two off every week off social media. See that the sky doesn't fall. See that your business keeps going. I actually wouldn't be surprised, friends, if your business succeeds even more, if, more clients come out of the woodwork as a result, if more amazing things come out of the woodwork, because what happens is that you're energetically relaxing, you're energetically trusting, and that gives the universe space to do her magic. Yes? There's not as much resistance, there's not as much attachment, because we are just living our best lives. And, what's also really cool is that this speaks to what I spoke about in my last episode, which is all about re-engaging in life fully. I hope you guys can hear me because of all this wind, but it's all about re-engaging with life fully, right? So today, I've been reading my book a lot. I took a nap. I played with our kids. I'm going to work out later. I'm going on a walk now. I'm living life. I'm re-engaging. I listen to podcasts that make me feel good and all that stuff. So really take it as an opportunity not to just like feel uncomfortable and disconnected from people and stuff like that, right? Take it as an opportunity like, what are your hobbies? What lights you up? What energizes you? What brings you to life the most? And how can you dedicate this 1 to 2 days a week to really prioritizing that? Because I really feel like when you prioritize that, when you prioritize connecting to yourself first and foremost, when you prioritize coming home to yourself, when you prioritize belonging to yourself first and foremost, everything else falls into place. So that is today's episode. I hope this helped. Share below, comment what your biggest takeaways were, if you had any shifts. You can always find me at jordanajaffe.com. I'm Jordana Jaffe on Facebook and Instagram as well. And people always ask me how to pronounce my name. I say it always rhymes with banana taffy. So if you're curious. Anywho, sending you guys lots of love on this beautiful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.